Alright, so I'm just gonna make this video quick, showing a bit about the key system punch down block and sort of the general layout. So if we look, there's a pattern that you can pretty quickly see with each. It's sort of managed in blocks, so you can sort of see. Down here it gets messy because here's the intercom, but up here you can just see here's card 1, here's card 2, card 3, card 4, card 5 for the different lines. And up here, so I still haven't punched down COT and COR, which is right here. You can sort of see COT and that's COR. This is a really kind of confusing. You can see here all of them. It's kind of a bad design to have the labels inside of the punch block because you can't really see it once you get wires in there. But there's COT, COR, AG, AB, RG, 3, and 18. So, and you can see there's the same patterns for each line. So COT, COR are company provided dial tones. So this is tip and ring for line 1. And then here's tip and ring for line 2. Something to note that I've messed myself up on a few times is the letters are below the punch. So even though it says 3 here, it's this upper one. Whereas my brain always just sort of thinks, oh, AG, that's this one. But no, it's actually the one above it. And I got too close to AG and AB. So anyway, COT, COR, and then 3 and 18, these are for music on hold. Like I said, this actually comes pre-wired. So 18 is always used for music on hold for every single line card I've seen. If the line card has music on hold available, 18 is used somewhere in the schematic. Because other line cards that don't have music on hold, 18 will just be a blank pin they don't even put on. And then 3 is occasionally used for music on hold. Depending on the line card, it'll be on 3 and 18, and for other line cards, it'll be between COT and 18. So for ITT 400E cards that were actually original to this key system, it was actually between COT and 18 to have the music on hold function. And actually, I'm wrong. 3 and 18 were also used for manual intercom cards. 401A, 401B, those are the most common ones you'll see. I have a few I could show you, but they're like very basic cards that just, they have the negative 20 volts and the positive ground on 3 and 18 to power the line. And so for some key systems, the last line, so card 5, would be used as a manual intercom. But those intercom cards do not have station signaling, so you can't buzz any stations. So all you can do is lift it and hope that the person that you're wanting to talk to answers, and that's as far as it goes. So 3 and 18. AG, this is a ground, so you can use this as a ground for whatever. That's just ground. All the grounds are common together. And so the 20 volts DC, the buzzer, the ringer generator, the lamps, all of them share the same ground. So you can connect between one of the grounds, it doesn't matter. So you could do AG or AI/LG, any of these AILG, and then down here they have lamp ground. So all of them are common. It doesn't matter which one you can connect to. And then I've already explained, here's tip and ring to the station. Sorry. Tip and ring to the station. And then A and AI. So the A is for the specific line card. And so you'll see here's A, and so on. AI is ground for all the A leads. So orange-white is the most common. So you can see for this one, orange-white is punched down here as well as lamp ground. This is one of the major flaws of the ITT 601 key systems as this unit is, because it doesn't have enough ground connections for AI. So that's kind of what you get into, is eventually this will just be completely full and you won't have any more slots. And also a thing to note, this punch block is a bit strange. If you notice, these upper ones are individual pegs. They're not common together. They're each their own different function. And then here, these pegs go all the way across to here. But then these ones going all the way down, these are all individual. So individual pegs going down, and then these ones that have the designations here are individual, but then the other ones go across. So that's something you can easily check with a voltmeter to see continuity-wise if they're shorted. And then also if you use your finger, you can sort of see if they shift all as one or if it's just a single one wiggling. And then lamp ground, lamp, pretty self-explanatory. They light up when the line card's active. Then you just go into line 2, line 3, same as line 1. Then here is common audible, which I have strapped, but I don't think I've fully connected it yet. But basically this is where the ringers are tied currently for the phones. So yellow slate, slate yellow pair for the ringer bells. These are going to be ringing when the line cards get a call. So when the line cards get a call, it'll trigger the interrupter and it'll pass the ring generator power to the CA. And that's the last designations I haven't explained. So AB is negative 20 volts. And then ring ground is, again, another ground connection. And then ring battery, or ring common. And so ring common will ring, it'll get the 105 volts AC from the ring generator when the line card is called. So then if you want all of them to ring, if you want all of the outputs of the line cards to go to one phone or two phones or whatever, you want them all to ring at the same time, you just go ahead and take a jumper wire between each RC lead. And then you eventually tie them all up at the bottom. So they all go to either the yellow slate or the slate yellow. And then whichever one is not connected to RC gets ground. So you need to make sure it's tied up to ground. Here what you can see is I just punched it down to lamp ground, which I don't even know why they put a lamp ground here except for that reason. So this is just an empty lamp ground rail. And then it goes again to the next line. And again, next line. And then here, SIG is obviously signal. And here is where the extensions are. So you can see 0 and 5, I actually soldered correctly on the back. Technically, this was originally 10, I think. Look closely. I think that was originally 10. But 0 is here, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4. As I mentioned earlier, these ones here are doing something different on the edge. So then it jumps over to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you have tip and ring and tip and ring. Both of these tips and rings are common, so you can connect intercom phones to either. So it doesn't matter which tip or ring you connect to as long as there's one connected to the phones. And then lamp and lamp ground, pretty self-explanatory. This lights up when the intercom is live. And both lamp and lamp grounds here are also common. I don't know why they provided so many connections for intercom, but I guess they found it necessary for, again, like you can use single line phones with this if you want, so they provided a bunch there. So yeah. Then the other thing with intercom, I guess I'll probably just make a separate video at this point because this one's getting a bit long, but intercom is a whole nother thing to talk about, but it's pretty self-explanatory where it just is tip and ring to get the intercom to go live, so it actually will sense the phone when you pick it up. Then signal is a whole separate thing. Don't even think of it as like the same phone because it's not. Basically, signal is just simply connecting something that does something to the intercom. It's not tied to tip and ring whatsoever. So signal is just signal, and you can just have it on its own pair. You could put a bell or a buzzer in your office somewhere and it's not even in the phone. It's really not even connected at all. So unlike regular phones where it rings off of tip and ring, this is its own deal. So you need to have separate wires in each phone to actually do separate for the buzzer or ringer. And what I'm gonna do is, instead of having a live wire on the intercom, because normally you would have either live 18 volts or live 105 volts from the ring generator, what I'm gonna do is have ground here and do it opposite. So basically it'll be grounded whenever the intercom is triggered. And so that way, if you connect your buzzer or ringer, depending, I'll make another video, but these pins here on the side will provide 105 volts and 18 volts here somewhere. I don't know which one because they didn't label it, but I can check. So then depending on which other wire you connect here will decide what you're using. Because ground, you could even use lamps if you want. So then it would light up momentarily instead of buzz. In the past, I've lit the hold key light as a signal light. So that could all be an option for you, which is pretty easily configurable. And I think I'll just go ahead and solder all these on. It's not that difficult, so I'll just make sure you fully set here if you ever want to hook up a bunch of phones. But yeah, so it'll switch ground here, and then whatever you want to connect is up to you. And it'll just switch the key system ground here momentarily, and then whatever you want to connect is up to you. So hopefully this video explains a bit more. If you have questions or if I spaced on something, just let me know.